What's going on, guys? This is Hassan from the Spiritual Walks. I hope everyone is doing amazing. Today, I'd like to talk about something, and I've touched upon this very often, but it's something that I believe can alleviate a lot of problems in our life. Some of these problems could be anxiety, stress, worrying, boredom. It could be anything. And I just feel like some of these things happen because of the external happenings of life. So if we are anxious, we are worried about how the future may turn out to be in a particular situation. Like we've gotten a job interview and we don't know how we are going to perform, and we really want to perform well for this interview or an exam, or it could just be general anxiety in public, social settings, public speaking, whatever it may be. But at the same time, there just could be stress. There just could be a tremendous amount of pressure on us to achieve a particular thing. We set ourselves these deadlines. We want to achieve particular goals, and a lot could be at stake. We take these risks, and these risks come with a lot of stress. In another instance, we may have something like boredom. Whatever we end up doing, we just feel like we want more. There is something else that we need to do. And so there's this underlying agitation of wanting to constantly do the next thing. So we've had some food, we want to now watch something, we call up someone, we need attention, and none of these things we admit to ourselves, but it is an underlying sort of psychological loop, if you like. And then we've covered anxiety, boredom, stress, fear. Okay? Fear. We may believe that we are not good enough. We are not going to take that leap of faith. Something that we fear, and we stay away from that. But the truth is that once we've discovered that there's something that we fear, if we get away from that thing that we fear, yes, we may be distracted later on, but in the back of our heads, we now have registered a additional fear. And these fears, they accumulate in our life. And eventually, when there's so many fears, they begin to expose themselves, cover themselves into aspects of life that we didn't used to be fearful of. Okay? Now, all of these things are connected in some way or form. All of these are somewhat a form of suffering, and they're all connected in one way or another. Now, how do we overcome this? How do we drop all of that? In fact, is it even possible? Can we entertain the idea that it's possible for all of these problems to just fall away? Is that possible? Okay? Now, all of these things are linked together, but they are rooted in identity. So what do I mean by that? I am happy. I am walking. I am warm. I am grateful. I am peaceful. Okay? I like this. I do that. I am going. I am coming back. All of these things, all of these sentences, or these descriptions, statements, they are essentially in a description of the contents of what's going on within the mind. The description of the contents of identity. Okay? Before every description, I am happy, I am this, there is the I am. Okay? Now, the stressful the stress, the fear, the boredom, the anxiety, all of these moments of suffering, all of these things that make us suffer, these are actually things that are linked not to the I am part. They are linked to the I am, the happy part, the walking part, the descriptive aspect of the I. Okay? So it's got nothing to do with the I am. Okay? I is what comes first, and then comes the other description. Now I hope you're with me so far. So, can we say then that in order for these elements of suffering, the boredom, the fear, the anxiety, the stress and so on, can we get rid of these, right? By letting go of all of the aspects that describe our identity. The I am sad, the I am fearful, I am anxious, I am this, I am everything that comes after the I am. Can we just drop these? Is it possible to let go of them? Right? And so let's do this right now. Let's suppose that none of it is here. Okay? Let's drop everything for just this moment. Okay? I'm dropping the likes and the dislikes and the anxieties and the fears and everything that makes me me, right? I'm dropping it all right now. I am none of that. Okay? When you let go of all of this, the fact that, there's a job, you're a family person, you have responsibilities, you have to pay the bills, all of this, can we just drop all of that for just a moment? And I'm not telling you to, lose it, right? It can't be lost, right? Even if you try to convince yourself that, you don't have to pay the rent, it's due at some point, right? Or the mortgage or whatever. But can we just put it aside for just a moment, okay? Can we treat it as though it's not the most important thing in the universe at the moment, okay? Can we just put that aside? Now, if we take all of this away, if we shed the skin of identity, which is essentially composed of all of these aspects of the I like this and the you are this and my opinions and the judgments and the memories and all of that, if we drop that, what is it that remains? Okay? What is it that remains? Can you see it? Is there anything that remains? Now, what happens is that as soon as you ask yourself this question, dropping everything aside, and you ask yourself, what is it that remains? You'll get different descriptions, you'll get different movements of ideas and thoughts and judgments like, what is it that remains? Nothing, And when you find nothing, it kind of feels weird, because usually when you look for something, you're supposed to find something identifiable, something that's tangible, something that you could work with in the form of an idea or physically, right? But here you find nothing, okay? All that there really is the I aspect, right? Now, that is the only thing that can't be taken away, okay? You can drop the fact that you are sad or happy or fearful or anxious or anything. You can drop the memories, the everything. You can let go of all of that, right? All of the sense of ownership and the judgments and the opinions and the stories and the memories. If we drop all of that, what is it that remains? Because that which remains cannot be dropped along with the other things. But for these other things to be identified, that which cannot be dropped, the I am, right, has to remain, has to be there. Okay? So before you even feel fear, there's the sense of I. Before you even feel bored, there's the sense of I. Before you feel anxious, there's the sense of I. Okay? Now there may be a thought, okay, what's so special about that? So what? Right? There may be a thought of, okay, I don't get this, right? There may be a thought of, yeah, whatever. They're just constant ideas. But we've just decided to put that aside, isn't it? Okay? Can we just sit with the I for a moment? Can you do that? Or is it challenging? What is challenging? Okay? There is a constant expectation for something. We can see that there is a constant expectation, but before the expectation there is the I. Okay? The I am. I am this, I am that. No. Just I am. When we sit with this, right? When we sit with this, what happens? And then the subsequent question is, okay, when we sit with this, is something supposed to happen? Right? And I really hope that the answer is whatever happens, happens. Or something along those lines. Okay? Before the I am, there is no anxiety. Okay? Before anxiety, there is the I am. Okay? Before the boredom, before the happiness, before the sadness, before whatever description, there is the I am. Let's just be and sit and settle in the I am before what comes after the I am. Okay? I am walking. Walking is just a happening. Okay? I am happy. Happiness is just a movement, it's just a happening. But that which does not move, that which does not go, that which is always there, right? Can you hold it in your hand? No. Can you conceptualize it? Can you put it into a concept? Not really. You can't. Okay? But it witnesses. Okay? It witnesses. It's the observer. Okay? And these are all labels and descriptions. It's none of these labels either. Okay? But it's there. Right? Settle in that. Settle in that. See how long you can settle in the I am before you get distracted. Because you will get distracted eventually. It's guaranteed. But that too is witnessed. Can be witnessed. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Okay? Do make sure you drop the questions down below. Let's interact. And also subscribe. If this, is appealing to you in any way, if it draws you in any form or way, it might spark like a question or an interest, or you may be familiar with this type of inquiry or questioning, if you like, or exploration. But stick around, see what this is about. So do make sure you subscribe, and I really hope I can continue to provide you guys with the content that really shines the self, okay? Not the self that is into these things, the ambience of life, the work, the persona, the character. No, I'm talking about the true self, okay? The self that is no different to all of that which is around you. That is no different to the other person you speak to. That is no different to me, to you, to anyone. Okay? I'll leave you with that. Looking forward to hearing from you, and see you next time.